Imagine this. You decide for some reason to stop ejaculating. Days go by, weeks, months, and suddenly you start wondering, what's actually happening inside your body? Could this be good for you? Or is it possibly harming you more than you realize? Maybe you've heard people say that avoiding ejaculation boosts testosterone, increases energy, or even makes you more productive. But how true is that? And where is the line between something that's healthy and something that might actually harm your physical, mental, and sexual health? Today, you're going to find out, backed by science, what really happens when a man goes a long time without ejaculating. And trust me, some of these answers are going to surprise you. First, you need to understand that the male body is an incredibly well-designed biological machine. Sperm production is a constant process. Every single day, your testicles are producing millions and millions of sperm cells. Studies published in the journal Biology of Reproduction show that a healthy man produces, on average, about 1,500 sperm per second. Yes, per second. So think about this. If production never stops, what happens to all that material when you don't ejaculate? Well, the body is smart. It reabsorbs it. Sperm cells that aren't used eventually break down and get recycled by your body, turning into nutrients and proteins that serve other important functions. In other words, from a biological standpoint, there's no real danger of infinite buildup. Your body knows exactly how to handle it. But does that mean there are no effects? Hold on, it's not that simple. Research shows that abstaining from ejaculation for a few days can indeed have some short-term benefits. For example, a study published in the Journal of Zhejiang University found that men who refrained from ejaculation for 3 days experienced a slight increase in testosterone levels, around 45%. However, that spike is temporary. After that short period, levels tend to return to normal, showing that the impact on your hormonal system isn't as significant as many people think. There's another factor that few people talk about: prostate health. Science has shown in multiple studies, including research published in European Urology, that regular ejaculation is linked to a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. Why? It's simple. Ejaculation works as a kind of cleaning process for the reproductive system, helping flush out potentially harmful substances and aging cells that can accumulate in the prostate. And there's more. When you go a long time without ejaculating, certain side effects can start showing up. Irritability, increased anxiety, trouble concentrating, and even sleep disturbances are often reported by men who, for example, follow the NoFap lifestyle, a movement that encourages abstaining from both pornography and masturbation. But here's the thing. The problem isn't necessarily abstaining from masturbation itself. In reality, many of the benefits reported by NoFap practitioners are more related to quitting pornography, which by itself has a long list of negative impacts on the brain, including desensitizing your reward system, increasing social anxiety, even causing psychogenic erectile dysfunction. Now, let's talk about something curious: the famous wet dreams. When a man goes without ejaculating for a long time, the body can naturally trigger ejaculation during sleep. This is completely normal and totally healthy. It's just the body managing its own processes. In fact, studies show that up to 83% of men will experience wet dreams at some point in their lives, especially during extended periods of abstinence. And what about libido? This is where things get interesting. During the first few days without ejaculation, many men report a boost in energy, motivation, focus, and mental clarity. This happens partly due to an increase in dopamine sensitivity, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and desire. However, after several weeks, this effect may stabilize or even flip the other way, leading to increased tension, irritability, and physical discomfort. In other words, there's no magic, only biology. And now you might be wondering, so is it better to ejaculate regularly or to go long periods without? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. If your ejaculation is tied to pornography, addiction, constant instant gratification, or emotional escape, then yes, cutting back can be incredibly beneficial. You'll retrain your brain to enjoy real-life pleasures, improve your discipline, and even boost your confidence. On the other hand, when it comes to physical health, especially prostate health, science is clear. Maintaining a moderate frequency of ejaculation, whether through sex, masturbation, or both, is consistently linked to health benefits. In fact, a very well-known study published in JAMA followed nearly 32,000 men over 18 years. It found that men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated only 4 to 7 times a month. But remember, this doesn't mean you should obsess over numbers or chase ejaculation goals. What matters most is finding balance, understanding your own body, your emotional needs, your sexual needs, and your physical health, and living a sex life that's healthy, fulfilling, and intentional. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever heard about these studies before? What's your opinion on this controversial topic? Do you believe that abstaining from ejaculation for long periods can truly transform your life? Or do you think balance is the real answer? If this video helped you, brought you clarity, or made you reflect, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, you'll always find serious, science-backed information designed to help you live at your highest potential. See you in the next video.